Breaker Crunchers. It's Friday night in Phoenix, Arizona. My name is Lance. This handsome guy to my right is Sam. Right, they're seeing it on the right?
Yeah.
This thing always throws me off.
They're seeing it how you're seeing it.
Oh man, we are the Couch Crunchers -2. Max is supposed to be here, but apparently Max thinks our show starts at 7:10 and not 7 o'clock. So
yeah, I think he must have run out of toilet paper during the pregame.
Tonight we're talking about the latest episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier and episode 2. I guess we'll throw that in the discussion here as well. And Godzilla versus Kong that was just released on Thursday, I think. Yeah, Thursday.
Yeah, in theaters and on HBO Max.
Yeah, a little plug for HBO Max. Which I'm actually enjoying having HBO Max. They're actually starting to come out with some pretty like regular stuff, more so than the other streaming services, I think.
Well, yeah, it's a different quality than say the usual Netflix fare.
Yeah.
Hey, look who it is. It's that handsome dodgeball man. The handsome dodgeball and VR man.
Oh, Max bought one of those too under Tyler's recommendation. Still can't hear you, buddy. So we're just going to talk until you decide to join us. But yeah, so we're going to talk about Godzilla versus Kong, which my wife and I watched all 4 movies in the last week and a half, gearing up for this one because I don't remember.
For real?
Yeah, I didn't remember any of them. All I knew is that I liked Kong.
4 movies.
Yeah,
including Godzilla versus Kong.
Including, yeah. So we watched that one when it came out.
So you did Godzilla, King of Monsters, and Skull Island, and then Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah, there's 4, right?
Yeah.
I saw them all because I saved them to my list in HBO Max.
Nice.
What's funny is I had to go to my Vudu to watch Godzilla because it was not on HBO Max yet, and like a day later they put it on HBO Max.
Oh, that's cool.
First one with Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen. Elizabeth Olsen, speaking of, Max, look at my new shirt.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, it's really cool.
Speaking of Elizabeth Olsen, I know Max finds her insanely attractive. I normally do not, but in Godzilla, she very much is.
That girl's a babe, dude.
Huh?
Okay, but what's creepy? She's a babe. But what's creepy about Godzilla, knowing that Aaron Taylor Johnson is her brother in another movie franchise.
Yeah,
it's just weird to see it. And I'm like, they're like making out, and she like climbs on his lap. I'm like, whoa. Well,
that's not the weirdest thing she's done. In Old Boy, she sleeps with her dad. So
that's true. And in the movie, he actually is her dad. At least in Godzilla, it's just knowing that they're brother and sister in another universe that's got me creeped out.
So she sleeps with her dad, who's played by Josh Brolin.
Thanos, that's right.
And then she fights him later in Thanos.
So when she says you took everything from me,
who's actually Gamora's father, not by blood. So Scarlet Witch and Gamora are sisters.
So those aliens from Galaxy Quest are just, their minds are blown right now as they're watching all that stuff.
Right. There's just a complete like implosion of the universe happening with all these movies.
They're like, no, you cannot do it.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes,
Tyler.
Okay, good.
Are you doing ASMR? ASMR?
Are you trying to keep the baby sleeping?
No. I just was chiming in. Doing my little
solid
test.
input, Tyler. Can you guys hear me?
I'm just chiming in with my little sound test, that's all.
Oh man. Yeah, so for those who are just joining us, we're talking about the last 2 episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier and Godzilla versus Kong. I watched all 4. Tyler, did you just watch this new one or did you not see it? Any of them?
Yeah, no, I did. I just finished this one today, Kong versus Godzilla. Or is it Godzilla versus Kong? I don't know.
Godzilla gets top billing.
Oh, okay.
Even though I like Kong a lot more.
I like Kong better too.
Yeah.
And his movie is the better of the 4, so.
And his storyline was the best of the 4 in this movie too.
But so you saw all 4 of them, or you just saw this one?
No, I saw all 4 of them. I just finished Godzilla versus Kong today.
Yeah, so we talked a week ago, and you hadn't seen any of them, correct?
Nope. I've been the first 3. I watched them, but like I missed parts because I was like watching it while doing other stuff. And then I actually sat
just
down.
Wait till you hear an explosion, and then it gets interesting.
Yeah. I just was like, I just want to know like basically what's going on and who the characters are.
And here's the thing, in my opinion, and we'll get more deeper into this. You could have easily just walked in and saw Godzilla versus Kong, and you wouldn't have missed a thing. There really wasn't anything from the previous movies that you like had to know, other than that Monarch is a thing. But you could have pieced together that Monarch is an organization.
Well,
without seeing
it does. It's the first movie of the entire series that actually has like a main continuing character other than the Titans in Millie Bobby Brown and Kyle Chandler.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
So they reference things that happened in the last one because every single movie they've changed the actors except for like minor set pieces, right? Like
yeah, I guess it does feel kind of like a sequel to Godzilla versus Kong, or sorry, King of Monsters. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Well, and it's just kind of like a pet peeve of mine to jump into a series without having seen the previous ones, even if it's not a huge plot like this one. So
I get it.
I have no idea how many people. So I saw Endgame in theaters like 7 or 8 times, and a couple times I walked out, and people were like, "Wait, what happened before this?" Like there was people that did not see Infinity War sitting in my same theater watching Endgame.
Oh man, yeah, that would be so confusing.
Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense.
Like, wait, why is Spider-Man coming through this big hole? Where's he been? Like, I thought he was Andrew Garfield. No, wait, I thought he was Tobey Maguire. Like, could you imagine how frustrating that would be?
That'd be really frustrating if you hadn't seen most of the 20-something movies that had come before it. Yeah, that would have been tough.
Also, where was the rock you just climbed out from that you were living under this whole time? Like,
it's amazing.
You had to have seen a trailer at some point.
There are people that have not seen the Marvel movies. I haven't seen any of them, and I'm like, what?
Oh,
that's
yeah,
crazy.
my mom watched Wanda Vision with my sister. Hadn't seen maybe the last 4 or 5 movies before that, and I'm like, do you even understand like what's happening? Like it's showing flashback sequences. But that doesn't come until like the second
episode 8. Yeah,
like later in the series. I don't know. Me, I rewatch them all to gear up for the new one coming out. I know Max does the same.
Yes,
but yeah, with the Kong and Godzilla movies, you're not missing much. Yeah, I couldn't tell you anything that happened with the people except someone died, the mother.
Yeah.
And then in the last one. And that somehow turns her into a investigative detective in the second
journalist. One of the things that really always bugged me about the Godzilla movies is that they have they gear up for these enormous fights. And then like the main characters are going inside a building and the doors closed, and so you don't get to see the fight. It's like, what? Did you just off screen that Godzilla fight? Oh, it is so frustrating.
Oh, and then they like, I guess we're just gonna jump into it. Like, I guess we'll get into what we're watching because it sounds like we can use what we're watching as a palate cleanser for this Godzilla versus Kong.
Let's do it.
Discussion.
We'll talk about Godzilla versus Kong first. Let's do it. Let me add.
And we're gonna get deep into spoilers in case this is not a movie that you're gonna be watching and be like, I can't believe you spoiled that for me.
Yeah,
Pretty much it's all in the title card. Kong, Godzilla, they both want to be alpha, fight each other, and then end up not killing each other.
Okay, there is a big reveal that's not in the title card. And
there is. And I wanted to dive into that because that was my main issue with this movie is that big reveal, right?
Oh, well, it wasn't a reveal. Everyone saw it coming. Yeah. I knew going into the movie that Mechagodzilla was going to be in it.
Well, there it is. Spoilers.
Yeah. I was trying to ease into it, Max. I was trying to be like kind of tactful about it. You're just like Mechagodzilla.
Depending on who you ask, it's Mega Godzilla.
It's Mecha.
No
I
one
know.
said Mega.
Yes, they do. The person I was
Only-
watching it with kept calling them Mega Godzilla, and I'm like, no, it's Mecha.
only dummies.
It's only because that kid has a New Zealander. He has a Kiwi accent, so it's hard for him to understand.
Okay, so Land of Monsters, we saw Godzilla take down the three-headed
Ghidorah.
King of Monsters.
King of Monsters.
Yes.
Whatever this is called. What did I call it?
Land of Monsters.
Okay, well, they all know what I'm talking about. So we watched Godzilla take down this three-headed monster, Gojira, right? Gojira?
Ghidorah.
Gojira?
Gogeta
Hey,
is what
guys,
Godzilla is
I'm
called.
going to butcher these names all night. The only one I can get is Godzilla and Kong. The rest of them, free game. And then in this movie, it turns out they're using the DNA from that monster to build their own savior of what they believe humanity. But basically, they want a way to not be enslaved under the Titans, right? So they use the DNA from the three-headed monster to build Mechagodzilla, or Mega for Max's challenged friend. And and who were you watching it with? Because I probably know.
We'll talk to you after.
Oh,
I don't want to call anybody out online. Here,
call him out,
especially-
dude.
No, I'm not going to do that.
It was probably Ben. Was it Ben? It was Ben.
There's no response. Your silence
You like
speaks
how
volumes.
his name is the first one I went to.
Silence speaks volumes.
Oh man. So apparently Max's challenged friend is also my challenged friend.
It's Ben
wonderful
Shapiro.
person.
That's who we were talking about.
He's a wonderful person.
Oh, I love Ben. That's why I know he's not going to get mad for me talking crap about him. Okay, so uses the DNA from the three-headed monster to create Mechagodzilla, or give him kind of a life force, I guess. And as if we all didn't see it coming, that goes horribly wrong. And then Godzilla now has to fight Mechagodzilla, almost dies, and then Kong and Godzilla team up to beat the Power Rangers. So
It did look a little bit like a
Megazord,
Megazord.
guys. It's a Megazord.
It did look like a Megazord, but worse.
So that was supposed to be the climatic part of the movie, right? If you're watching the movie, like we're all gearing up for the Godzilla versus Kong fight, but really, like they saved this Mechagodzilla to be this huge thing. Lasted all but 5 seconds?
It was
It wasn't that short, but it wasn't satisfying.
It was like the fight lasted screen time wise from when it started to when it ended, probably 10 or 15 minutes worth of screen time, but they cut away to the most unnecessary storyline I've ever seen in a movie multiple times.
What did they
during
cut away
that
from?
fight.
Because I don't even remember.
So like the story would start and then they would go to the Millie Bobby Brown storyline, which you could have completely cut from the movie with a simple rewrite and it would have had the exact same outcome. Every time her storyline popped up, I was like, no! Can we go back to Kong? Kong's
They wanted some of
storyline
that
was actually
Stranger
cool.
Things fandom. They wanted some of
Kong's-
the Stranger Things
I
fans.
liked Kong's storyline. I liked the whole Hollow Earth thing. It's silly, but I enjoyed it. But man, every time the Maggie storyline popped back up, I seriously found myself groaning. I'm like, can we not with this? I don't want
Although
to
I
see the
did find
conspiracy theorist. He was annoying.
No, I like the podcast
he
of
was-
conspiracy theorists
He was awful.
because
he
I
was
know people like
awful.
that are just crazy.
Wait,
Like sanitize your hands, like don't eat
are you talking about
apples.
Max?
Like prepper guys. That's what that podcaster guy reminded me of, like a prepper. Like takes baths and bleach. That's pretty much most of the country during this COVID thing.
Also, to
Some of
say
the
it was
country.
the most obsolete storyline. I mean, we do have the casino scenes from The Last Jedi.
I don't know,
that's pretty up
that
there.
had more impact on the story than freaking Maggie's entire story did.
I don't
All right,
know.
At least they
guys-
picked up the anyway.
Come on.
we're-
Come on, the story plays second fiddle to the battles, right? This is all about wish fulfillment. You just want to see these two go at it. The story, as far as necessity, we just need to pick a side, right? We just need somebody we can root for. And clearly Kong was the underdog. And everybody was rooting for Kong. I don't know anybody who didn't root for Kong.
My brother I was watching it with was rooting for Godzilla. But yeah, I was definitely rooting for Kong.
Well, your brother he's the one that hates me.
Deep-seated.
All right, we got to stop bringing that up on the podcast.
Deep-seated issues. He also liked Wonder Woman 1984 and not the first one. So he has.
That's
he has
not
issues.
true either.
So everyone who counts was rooting for Kong.
Everyone whose opinion matters. Oh my gosh, that's awful.
And it was moving. All I needed to see from Kong was him, reach out and give a little finger high five to the tiny little girl with her little Kong doll. And I was like, okay, he's my guy. I'm ready. He's Rocky. Godzilla's Apollo. I want to see him take the task.
Speaking of the little girl, did you guys notice that every time it would show Kong and the little girl on screen together, it somehow manages to fluctuate Kong's size throughout the entire... Like anytime they put a human on it, like at one point she's the size of his nostril. And at the other point she can stand up and she stands up to his like toe, right? Like, and then he's as tall as skyscrapers. They can't decide how big...
I didn't notice him getting bigger and
the
smaller.
entire movie.
But the size
I don't know about
thing,
scaling issues.
the size thing, I did have a comment on that though, and it's more an observation and a compliment to Kong and his eyesight, because there was a point where they showed the little girl basically was the size of his fingernail on his pointer finger. So that's like the size of maybe a bee to us. And Kong is able to see her little fingers and hands doing sign language. I'm impressed. That's all.
They should
I'm
have given him like a monocle, like a monocle they could walk around in. Who doesn't want to see a monkey in a monocle?
Well,
right?
Seriously, I was watching the movie and like envisioning like an ant doing sign language and me understanding what they're saying, and he did.
Yeah, Max is like, okay, go on. The queen's being a real bee today. Okay, I got you.
And essentially, like all those explosions are the equivalent of us standing over the oven and getting like hot oil splashed on us. Like that would be like anytime they shoot them with guns and everything, but they still insist. 4 movies, they haven't figured out the guns don't do anything.
Yeah, I know.
They still shoot Godzilla with guns. Like they
what
don't.
would it be like being one of these pilots? Like, okay, well, I'm gonna go die now. Like,
right?
Yeah, essentially, it's like Max sitting from across my house shooting me with a spitball and a straw. Essentially,
thinking
and
it's
I'm just
gonna
gonna
kill
fall
you.
over. Yeah,
Yeah.
so stupid.
Yeah,
and Godzilla has like reptilian skin.
let's send our million, our $10 million jets after this guy who can shoot nuclear beam blasts out of his mouth on a whim. That's not going to go poorly for anybody.
And speaking of, how does he get so many people with that when he essentially is giving you the warning when he's upcharging through his entire spine? They're like, oh, hey, maybe we should keep this $10 million jet away from Godzilla's face. That might be good. We see his spine glowing.
So notice
you get that
something.
sound, right?
The sound's really cool, actually. I noticed something about these monster movies, and I mentioned it as we started Godzilla versus Kong. I said, all right, guys, I'm making a prediction. This is what the movie's going to be about. It's going to be about humans making really stupid decisions that lead to monsters destroying a bunch of crap. And then the humans are going to make more bad decisions, and the monsters are going to destroy more crap. And that's exactly
so it's
what
essentially
happened.
Transformers as well. Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox in this movie.
You know what I was thinking though? Back to his beam cannon. Like, why? Like in the Godzilla movies, it's kind of flame. Like it's kind of like a giant flamethrower, right? But all of a sudden in Godzilla versus Kong, it becomes a Kamehameha, basically. Like,
I think it's because he got shoot with it.
No, man.
Look at us trying to create reason with these.
No, Tyler, it's not a flamethrower. It's an eraser. Whatever he points it at gets erased from existence.
So it just got a straight beam eraser this time.
Yeah,
instead of
dude,
like a
check
So
it out.
essentially,
Check it
we
out.
just need him to shoot his entire film franchise.
I've got
then
the
it'll be
perfect
blocked from our
example
memories.
of why it's an eraser, right? He knows that that Kong is in the center of the earth, in the hollow earth, and he points his beam straight down, and with one shot, he burrows all the way to hollow earth, wherever that is. And then Kong just climbs right out in a minute. He's like, "Hey, you found me! Oh my gosh, that was so nice work. You got it."
like it was hide and seek, and he was
I guess
hiding
I
in the
think like,
closet.
"Hey, you got me, Ollie, Ollie, you come free."
Okay, you guys want to know what I
Like, man,
thought
I'm
of?
sorry, I was tangled in the coats. I couldn't get out.
You know what I thought of when that happened? You know, as a kid, I was always taught that if you dig deep enough, you can dig a hole to China. That's not true, but it turns out it is true. If you're in China, you can dig a hole deep enough to get to the hollow earth. So
Wasn't that Japan?
And they just dig the other.
no, they were in Hong Kong.
It was Hong Kong. But yeah, he
I
just,
gotta say though, visually, the Hollow Earth part was pretty stunning.
Oh, absolutely, it was so
That
cool.
was way cool. But it also felt directly ripped off from Inception and Doctor Strange.
I didn't.
Oh,
get that
I
vibe.
thought this is
No,
definitely.
I was watching. I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
did they just create the skyscrapers and turn them into mountains? Like it reminded me, like when Inception, when the world is. turning over.
Yeah.
I guess. I thought it just looked like Skull Island, but like on steroids.
mirror image. Yeah, I thought it was pretty neat. I thought all of the Kong stuff was pretty cool. The Godzilla stuff was pretty. It was pretty superficial. I didn't think they did a good job of making us root for Godzilla, and maybe that's why they were just trying to. That's why they brought Millie Bobby Brown in to remind us that Godzilla is really the good guy. That remember that last movie that 11 was in, where Godzilla saved everybody from King Ghidorah. Yeah, let's just recall that Godzilla is actually a good.
But then they pit the two. So they create Kong Skull Island. You're like, oh, Kong's a good guy. I like Kong, right? And then
Except
they do
for that he saves Brie
Land of
Larson.
King of Monsters or whatever, Land of the King. I don't know. And they're like, oh, Godzilla's a good guy. Let's make the two guys fight each other. Did they not learn anything from Batman versus Superman?
No, dude, it's Captain America: Civil War. They're
Yeah.
taking cues from Civil War. It's like, hey, you've got these two sides that are understandable. If you're a giant ape or a giant lizard, these are your motivations. And it's not that they're bad; it's just that they have a conflict, and they're going to work it out with their fists.
Well, their whole motivation for fighting each other was that two alpha titans can't exist at the same time. So in the Civil War, they're like, hey, we're fighting for everybody, the Sokovia Accords. Like, we believe in this, and this is good for everybody, and we don't believe in it, and it's going to be bad for everybody. So there was like this kind of emotional depth to the reason they were fighting, right? They both thought they were standing on the side of good. No, Godzilla just wanted, and Kong just both wanted to sit in the same chair.
No, I disagree. I mean, Kong.
They
Kong
say
wanted
that.
to-
They say that they're gonna fight. They're gonna fight because Godzilla needs to wipe out all the alphas.
Yeah, that's Godzilla's motivation. Kong's motivation was he would have no peace until until he protected everybody from Godzilla. And it was really the girl who was asking him to go be the champion of the humans. And so he goes and fights because he has a heart and he cares about this little tiny girl.
Well, not only that, but like he just barely found his cool little throne room, and then Godzilla just takes it out right when he finds it.
Yeah,
That was not
it's like, damn it! I just cleaned this room.
I just
What I tell my kids every time I walk out of my office, it's like, damn it! I spent all day cleaning this, and now you just threw Legos everywhere again. That's
I know.
essentially
Well,
what
and
happened.
poor
Like,
So I
Kong.
understand that wrath. I
Like
understand.
you get home from work and your kids are like, Dad, we gotta go outside. We gotta play. It's like, I just sat down. I just got here.
Oh man. So I understand.
Well, Kong, man, poor guy is just trying to live his life, not be a slave to the humans. And when they trick him to go into the Hollow Earth by lying to him and saying, "Yeah, your family's down there," which was BS. and then
They
he
didn't know
still protects
anything.
and he still protects the humans. Like when they
He
were
let
awful
a couple
to him.
of them. He let a
That's
couple
true.
of them go the wayside.
Absolutely, he did.
Actually,
Absolutely.
there was only 3 left standing.
But Tarzan was the one who was lying to him. If you guys didn't realize that that actor was Tarzan.
Oh
the
my god,
Tarzan movie.
Skarsgård. I didn't realize he's also Pennywise's brother.
Okay, yeah, he does look a lot like. Yeah. Anyway, he was a freaking jerk, and yeah, he ended up helping at the end and jump starting.
And it
Kong
looks
back to
like
life,
he kind of
but-
gets the girl in the end too. Like there was no like makeout scene, but the way the 3 of them walked off like into the sunset with each other, you're like, oh, they're gonna start a family now. This guy was a douche, and now he gets a family.
Let's be a family.
So, guys, Godzilla versus Kong is a family movie.
It is a family movie.
So all right, so let's talk about some positives, right? We've been like joking about this movie for the last little while. While there wasn't enough action, in my opinion, the second fight between Godzilla and Kong, I thought was quite good. I thought that was pretty fun to see them beating on each other and throwing each other into walls, and like Kong taking his axe, which that was cool, getting his axe and slamming it down Godzilla's throat to stop the blast.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Like there was some really cool parts.
But let
of
me
that
ask
fight.
you: did you feel like you gained anything from watching this movie over the last 3?
No,
'Cause
but none of them are really that great. to
They could have
begin with.
superimposed Kong into any of the last 3, like the big mecha fights, and it would have been the same movie.
Well,
Yeah,
here's
I mean-
the deal. Here's the deal. The one thing that they had to do here was show us Godzilla and Kong beating each other up, really going to town. And they clearly didn't care about collateral damage. So it didn't matter how many skyscrapers they knocked over. They could really
Because it
just
was Hong Kong, so who cares?
just really open up, stretch those muscles, get a full swing in. So they could have gone 12 rounds. This could have been Rocky versus Apollo, number 1, and then number 2. And they could have gone for the full 2 hours of just fighting. Instead, the first fight took about 6 minutes, but it didn't start until the 40-minute mark. So 40 minutes, I'm waiting for some hot monkey on lizard action. And it didn't happen. It didn't happen for 40 minutes. And then, 6 minutes really isn't enough time to get to get excited about that. And then it was another 40 minutes before the real fight started again in earnest. So basically we went for 75 minutes of movie, no fighting. There was no fighting for 75 minutes. And then we got a little bit of fighting, and then the fight between Godzilla and Kong, it kind of left me wanting more. I mean, I don't know what the purpose was having Kong kind of end up on his back like that. I didn't really.
They had
like
to have
that.
a winner, and Godzilla was the clear winner. That's what I took from it.
Yeah, clearly
Yeah,
Godzilla's
how
the
come-
winner.
How come all the other monsters, these supposed titans, have these cool powers? Like the moth can make this light stuff come out of her wings and fly, and Godzilla can blow,
Yeah,
Nuclear-
Ghidorah can like cause electric storms. Yeah, no, you're right. Kong doesn't have
Kong's
any
like,
powers.
I got an axe.
That was cool though. I thought the axe was cool,
The axe was
but he
pretty
doesn't. He
But
doesn't
he's
have any
essentially
superpowers.
a
though.
giant monkey. That's it. A
You're
really
right.
strong, gigantic gorilla.
sweet. Yes.
He's super
And
smart.
we are led to believe
He is super smart.
that
He's got
he
great
has
vision. Great vision.
Yes, he's got eagle vision.
His
Microscope.
visual acuity is top notch, second to none.
and then like he's able to stand up to Godzilla, blowing blue flames out of his mouth and with his axe and stuff, and he can't break gigantic chains on an ocean liner.
He just wasn't ready for it yet.
His whole body can be thrown into a skyscraper and knock it down to, nothing, but he can't snap chains on an ocean liner. Not to
Yeah.
mention,
Those are big
Those
chains.
One
chains were
ocean
made
liner
out
that
of freaking adamantium. Okay.
show me one ocean liner that you could put that big, that's something that big that is essentially the size of a skyscraper where the boat doesn't sink. Because I get in my truck and it sinks about 2 inches.
You're complaining about things that don't bother me. I'm just like, it's a monster movie. It's fine.
I was kind of actually thinking about that a little bit because Godzilla's just like strolling through the water, like, and then just like blowing up ships, just like strolling along. And I'm like, okay, Kong can't break out of this one thing. Like, he's in trouble. He's in trouble going up against Godzilla.
Well, and then like he's trying to pull on the chains, he can't break it, and finally they let him free, and he just snaps the collar off his thing. I was like, dude, why didn't you do that before? Like, these weren't electrified chains. Like, there was nothing. I don't know. I'm just saying, if you're gonna make a movie and you're gonna create laws in the beginning of this movie, right? Kong is a certain size, he can't break chains. You got to carry that through the whole movie, unless there's a plot device that gives them some sort of power that we don't know about. Because then I just get upset. Because then I'm like, well, they don't care about their storyline, so why do I care about this movie?
Yeah, I don't have an issue with movies, just being popcorn flicks. That's what the Fast and Furious movies are. That's what a lot of action movies are. I mean, John Wick has a pretty decent story for an action movie, but it's not like super deep and rich necessarily.
But the same laws apply. In Fast and Furious, they tell you can jump a car from one skyscraper to another.
Well, you didn't let me finish my thought though. But like the story in the Fast and Furious movies are at least, I still enjoy them, even though they're ludicrous. There's actually a story, and it's fun, and it's engaging, and you care about the characters. My issue with Kong or Godzilla versus Kong is that I didn't even care about the story. It was just so laughable and bad that it made the moments when they were finally fighting not matter to me, and they weren't important. And so story matters even in a movie that's just meant to be spectacle.
All right, just a tangent right here. Speaking of Fast and Furious, I went and saw Mr. Nobody, and they played the Fast and Furious 9 trailer once again before Mr. Nobody. Or Nobody, sorry. And
Mr. Nobody's a way better name.
Have you guys seen this Fast and Furious
name.
trailer, Fast and Furious 9 trailer?
Absolutely. It is
and
like 2 years
absurd.
ago.
Yeah, and have you seen, every time I see it, I'm like, Charlize Theron looks like Simple Jack from
She
Tropic
looks
Thunder.
terrible. She looks terrible. The haircut they chose for her.
And you put up a comparison of Charlize Theron and Simple Jack from Tropic Thunder.
I'm going to have to, I'll look it up. I'll see if I can do it.
Which one of you, was it one of Max or Tyler? One of you tell me you've never seen Tropic Thunder before?
I haven't seen it.
Tropic Thunder is amazing.
I've seen it.
I knew it was one of you.
Okay. I think I already found it.
That's on the
That was
Vudu,
fast.
Max. You need to watch that.
No, I know. I own it. I bought a pack of like comedy movies on Vudu from the 2000s, and it's in it. I just haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah, Simple Jack is Ben Stiller's.
It's one of the characters his character plays.
So it's over here on the right.
Actor. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Here, I'll pull it up a little bit bigger on the one I
It
just
kind of
opened.
has a little bit of Jim Carrey from Dumb and Dumber feel to it as well.
Lloyd Christmas.
Yeah, Lloyd. She just put a cereal bowl on her head.
That is what it looks like, man. You put a bowl down and you just cut around it. I'm pretty sure I had this. Looks like a bowl cut. I'm pretty sure I had this cut back.
I mean, when you're a villain, you don't have time to visit a proper salon.
I'm not gonna laugh because simply I'm jealous of everybody that has hair. So I've got my own issues to worry about.
Oh man. Yeah, Godzilla versus Kong is a popcorn movie. That's a great way to describe it. And when you have a popcorn movie, as dumb as they are, Transformers is like the most popcorny of popcorn movies.
Yeah,
Fast and Furious too. But they know what you're there for, right? You're there to see giant robots punching each other and blowing each other up.
Yeah, so
Or you're there
fills
to
most
see-
of the movie.
you're there to see cars driving fast and guys talking tough and girls being
and
sexy.
Vin Diesel saying family.
Family. It's all about family. It's all about family.
And The Rock saying candy ass or something stupid.
Yeah, one-liners from The Rock, absolutely.
No, the most ridiculous scene was from Hobbs and Shaw was when they start doing the haka in front of the bad guys. They all have machine guns and they're like haka.
Because that'll work. It's in the same world as Moana.
It did work, though. That's what
it
you don't
did,
get, Lance. It's a real story.
I have
based on
no
history.
problem with popcorn movies. I mean, we all love John Wick, Transformers.
Yeah, but they have to deliver, right? They have to deliver the popcorn product. And I feel like Godzilla versus Kong. Godzilla versus Kong got us about 60% of the way there. They still needed 40% more monkey lizard action.
The amount of time they spent not fighting was about the same amount of time that Justice League had slow motion scenes in it.
Tyler, you can log off. You're not going to top that.
Someone did the math on that, by the way. It's a 4-hour movie. 10% of it is slow mo. So yeah, you have 40 minutes of slow mo in that movie.
That's not exactly how hours work, but yeah.
Oh, you're right. Duh. I'm an idiot.
24 minutes would be slow mo.
Yeah, you're right. My bad. Math is hard.
Oh, it's hysterical.
I also say Mechagodzilla, just so we're clear. That's how dumb I am.
Challenged, not dumb.
Challenged.
Yeah,
let's be PC.
I didn't like super enjoy the Mechagodzilla. The upset or the interference from Mechagodzilla? I didn't super enjoy that either. It took a long time. It was like a real slow build, and then it all happened really quick, and then it was over as quick as it came. I was like, okay.
They should have had the guy that was sitting in the skull jump out. And he's like, okay, and then jump in the head of the robot.
Yeah, let's get the.
You're going down, Rita.
Let's get Godzilla versus Kong versus the Power Rangers. Let's get that.
Now that's the movie. Versus Shia LaBeouf.
That sounds great.
Versus actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
Green Ranger wouldn't even need his freaking Megazords. He could just take them all out by himself.
You know, the Green Ranger, when he plays his flute, which is actually a knife, he does, and it sounds like a synthesizer. He does it without his
out of his
he
mask.
does it with his helmet. He does it with a helmet on. And if that doesn't keep you awake at night, then you're not a child of the 90s.
Or the fact that the person inside the yellow Ranger was actually a dude.
What? Yeah, I didn't know that.
The original
or
Japanese
the Black Ranger is missing a finger.
Oh, that's right, because it's a Japanese show, and they're just we Americanized it. Took footage from the show and everything.
Super Sentai.
Super Sentai.
Yeah.
Well, it's just funny because as a kid, I didn't even notice that Rita wasn't actually, her mouth wasn't moving correctly with the words I was hearing. And then I watched it as an adult, and I'm like, oh, that's right. This is a Japanese show, and they're dubbed over it with completely new material.
That's because you were used to watching Dragon Ball Z at the time.
Potentially.
So maybe it's just the same. Zack is missing a finger when he's in human form, and then when he's the Black Ranger, he has that finger. The Yellow Ranger is missing an appendage, and when she becomes in the suit, she gains an appendage, just like he did his finger.
Okay.
Same. I mean, see, the Power Rangers understands. They create a law and they follow it through the entire movie.
Good night, kids.
Let's give our rating for Godzilla vs. Kong, because I really want to get into the Falcon Winter Soldier.
I'll start.
Or Civil War Light is what I like to call it. Sam, you said you'd start?
Yeah, I'll start.
Go for it, buddy.
So for me, I was super disappointed by the amount or the lack of actual battle content. I did like the first fight, the one that took place at sea. I thought that was pretty good. But the rest of the action just kind of left me going, what happened? Where did it all go? All of the real big money moments they showed in the trailer. So, you don't really need to see the movie itself to get the same excitement that the movie gave you, because the trailer did it for you. The Mechagodzilla reveal was pretty. It felt pretty flat for me. So I didn't really enjoy this movie that much. I'm gonna give it 2 out of 5 couch cushions.
Oh, that's high praise. Oh, I think you guys know where I'm going. Tyler, go ahead.
I mean, I basically felt the same way. They and like Max said, like some of these story was so convoluted that it actually made the fight scenes less compelling than
It's
they
distracting,
maybe would have without the story. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I felt the exact same way basically about everything. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with a 2 out of 5.
I mean, to say that, to just piggyback off of what you just said, Tyler, I once saw a video clip of a lizard running for its life from a valley full of snakes.
Oh, I've seen that.
And it's more compelling than anything they showed in this movie.
That was actually crazy. That was
because they're animals, right? It's nature. It's a battle for survival. It doesn't need to be any more compelling than that.
If we're talking about videos about animals, you need to see the one. I'm pretty sure it's called Honey Badger is a Badass. I don't know if you've ever seen that one. I'm pretty sure it's narrated by the guy who is in Parks and Rec and like yells all the time. No, but he's like, it's a video of a honey badger just being a honey badger. And he's like, the honey badger doesn't give an F. Honey badger's a badass. And it's like a honey badger biting a snake and like letting it bite its shoulder while it's like eating the snake. And just honey badgers are pretty bad, eh? It's cool.
They are.
You should watch this video. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
honey badger doesn't give an F.
I once watched one of like an anaconda or boa or something take down a gigantic alligator. And I was like, this is awesome. They should make an alligator versus snakes movie. Instead they made a monkey and a lizard. Max, go for it. What's your rating on this movie?
Well, I posted my rating on Facebook actually on my personal page, and I gave it a 2 out of 5. And I'm not going to change that. I think 2 out of 5 is a correct rating for it. I thought the story was utter trash. I mean, when I literally am groaning because of a storyline popping back up, that's bad. But I can't give it under a 2 because I did enjoy some things. Like I actually liked Kong's story quite a bit. I liked some of the action sequences. There were some good things about it, you know. The CGI was bad at some points, good at others, but pretty bad at some, which was a disappointment to me because King of Monsters I watched earlier this week or maybe last week. The CGI was great. Like that's a beautiful movie. Like the story's dumb, but visually it's pretty nice to look at. But like there's one moment in particular when Kong rips that like pterodactyl thing's head off and starts eating its neck. That it looked really bad. Now here's the thing: the TV I was watching it on, the first time I saw it, which I've only seen it once, but I rewatched a few scenes on my TV just to see if it was a settings on the TV issue, and it was. My buddy Ben, whose house I was watching it at, he has it on like the dynamic mode, which basically puts everything at top brightness and colors are kind of dialed up. Some people really like that. He may not even realize that it's on that. It might have just come default in that setting.
We call that store mode.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good point. Store mode. It's called Vivid on my TV. And for the most part, I don't like that mode. I like, the dark HDR because it's just a nice look. So that's how I have my TV set up. And so as I was watching it on my TV, I'm like, okay, the CGI is not as apparently bad in this environment. But in that Vivid, like the greens were like too green and things like that. But anyway,
Why
so
was I
2 out of
not
5.
invited to this outing?
Because
All
it
my
wasn't
friends get
my
together to watch
outing.
a movie.
Okay, you want to hear how it went down? Here's how it actually went down. So my brother got invited by Ben to watch the movie, and he told me about it. And the day of, I texted Ben and I said, "So I hear you're trading movie buddy brothers with the older brother," and he guilt invited me, and then I showed up.
So then you should have said, "Well, wherever I go, I bring my hetero with me." And then
I should have, but I didn't.
no. About 20 minutes into this movie, I opened my phone and started playing solitaire.
Yeah, no, you should have started at minute 10.
So it just wasn't good. I mean, I actually loved Kong Skull Island. Like, I thought that was actually
Skull Island
fun
is a good movie. That's a
yeah,
really
I
good movie.
loved that movie. I thought Hiddleston was good in it. Samuel L. Jackson, Brie Larson. Like, I thought they were all great in that movie. And
It's
I
definitely
enjoyed
the
it.
best of the monster movies.
And then the first Godzilla is not half bad either, because
I mean, Bryan Cranston gets redshirted in the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, that was a bummer.
yeah, what is that like? They cast Bryan Cranston and things, and then if he's not the
Redshirt
main
him.
character,
Yeah.
they kill him.
He costs too
Yeah.
much, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay,
But,
I'm gonna have to block out Lance's square. It's making me dizzy.
yeah. I don't know what's up with my camera, but it just goes out of focus sometimes. So sometimes I just gotta trick it to go back. You see, it's trying.
It wants to love you, Lance.
I know.
Put a pair
There
of
you
glasses
go.
on it.
I just have a podcast voice, not a podcast face. So
It's your camera. It's not your face. It's your camera.
I don't know that any of us have podcast faces.
Hey, easy.
we barely have podcast voices.
We've got podcast beards, though.
That's right.
3 of
Not
us.
me.
I mean,
Mine's
3 of
all
the 4 of us.
patchy. All you guys can grow a mean beard, and me, I've got like a couple whiskers. So I did not like it. So 2 out of 5, I think, is high praise from you guys. I'm giving it a throw pillow.
That's not that bad. Did you like
I
nothing?
hated it. I didn't like anything.
Wow.
Any scene where it was like, I was like, oh, that was cool, and it lasts for like a second, and then they never showed again. Like, I got really like, I was like, that underwater or underground train thing that they had where they were able to get from New York or wherever they were to Hong Kong in like half a second. I was like, oh, that's cool. Never showed again. And then I was like, oh, they could explore something really cool with this prepper guy, like maybe add a new element to the story about this whole conspiracy theory.
No, if you would have
And
cut
then he
that guy out, it would have jumped my score half a point.
And then I was like, oh, they cast a Firestarter in something else. That's nice. And then they make him kind of annoying. And no, there was nothing I liked. I much rather would have watched one of the previous 3 before this one again. I think it's the weakest entry of the 4. And the other 3, I mean, Kong would probably get 3.5 from me, and the other 2 would probably get 2.5 to 3. So, and it's
Man,
dramatically
that seems
less quality.
That seems overly harsh, but it's your rating.
I didn't like it. You can't. Okay, you have 2 monsters fighting each other, and I'm playing solitaire on my phone. You can't even grab my attention with explosions and stuff. Like, that's bad. I was able to sit through Michael Bay's last Transformers movie without looking at my phone. This one, I could, like, I was answering text messages and emails from work. That to me was more.
You would rather work. That is bad. You'd rather
that
work.
was more interesting than this movie. Like, if Michael Bay can grab my attention for 2 hours and a giant monkey and flame-throwing lizard can't, you have a problem.
Fair enough.
Because it's not about the monkey and the lizard, Lance. It's about you. Your feelings.
I don't know, man. It was just bad.
It's all good, dude. Yay.
And then I kept hoping that they would show like an old Tom Hiddleston at the end of the movie, like to kind of, because we still don't have our second Kong movie, right? I was like, oh, maybe they show an old Tom Hiddleston and he's like living in a monkey
In a van
sanctuary
down
or
by the
something.
river.
But no teases. So I'm hoping it's the end of the franchise.
No, I mean, I would like to see them do it right. I would like to see them structure it like it's a Rocky movie rather than, a Power Rangers
Kong
fight.
versus Godzilla Part 2.
Yeah.
Because isn't that Rocky 1 and 2? It's Apollo and Rocky.
Yeah, so
Both times.
Rocky barely loses in the first one, but then he comes back and wins in the second one. So that's how they should structure Godzilla versus Kong Part 2.
They just need to skip the which one was it? Was it Rocky 4 where they fight in the streets?
No, it's 5.
Is that 5?
Rocky 4 is an amazing movie. Rocky 4 is amazing.
Wait, which one's Rocky 4?
That's Ivan Drago.
Oh, that's 4?
Rocky 3 is Clubber Lang.
That's right. Mr. T is 3.
Okay, that one's bad.
That's right.
And then the 5th one's bad.
Yeah.
The fourth one's good. I get them all mixed up, man. Like, and I watched them I think a year and a half ago. Like all.
How many are there? Is it 6? And then they have the Creed movies.
Let me
Rocky
walk you
Balboa
through.
was the
Let me walk you
last
through it.
one, I thought.
You've got
Apollo 2.
Hold on.
Rocky 2, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Rocky 5, Rocky Balboa, Creed 2, and then there's going to be a Creed 3.
Yeah, I like Creed and Creed 2. Those are really good. And I like Rocky Balboa as well.
Rocky Balboa is good. The locker room speech in Rocky Balboa is top notch.
Yeah.
Hey, Kyle?
Because it ain't about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep going. That's such a good locker room speech.
I just saw another movie where they said the exact same thing. What was I watching?
It had to be Rocky Balboa.
No, I was watching something with my wife where they say it's not about how many times. Oh, I was watching the new Mighty Ducks show on Disney Plus, and they use a line that's almost identical. You're going to fall down a lot today. And it's not about how many times you fall down. It's about how many times you get back up, which is essentially the same line.
Well, locker room speeches are the whole point of sports movies, right? You watch them for the locker room speech.
Which one's the one that has like?
No, we're talking about Godzilla versus Kong.
They should have had a locker room speech. That would have made the movie better.
For sure. They need to structure it like a sports movie.
They should have had Sean Astin come in and give this like incredibly like pump fisting speech to not Sean Astin. Yeah.
Wait, why Sean Astin?
Because he's Rudy.
I was thinking of Rudy.
Oh, Rudy.
He's not even the coach in that movie.
But now he is. Rudy's turned into the coach. He's in the corner with Godzilla, and he's like, "Yo, Godzilla, here's what you got to do." And he's giving an inspiring speech. I like this. This is good.
He also gives pretty good speeches as Samwise. So.
Absolutely, he does. So good.
There was nobody to get Kong hyped up except for the little girl who was mute. So it didn't work for us.
Maybe
for us.
We should have had Rudy in Kong's corner. That's right.
We needed Sylvester Stallone there to give us the locker room speech, man. That's what you need.
Hey.
Wait, we got
you punch him.
Okay, but we've got Sylvester Stallone in the greatest role in years. King Shark, baby.
Dude, that trailer looks awesome.
It looks
and a new one came out today, I think, or yesterday.
Yeah,
today.
Came out on April Fool's.
New trailer.
Oh yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah, that scene where he's just like hand.
Yes, that's your hand.
Like, yes, that's your hand. Oh, we're like, hand. Oh my gosh, I'm actually excited for that movie. It looks really good.
It does look really good.
Yeah. So let's talk about because I've been actually watching a few things. So I want to know if you guys are watching anything cool before we get into our Falcon and Winter Soldier discussion.
All right,
Sam, you go first.
I picked up on this show on Netflix called The Irregulars. It's kind of like
I'm watching that too.
It's kind of like a Sherlock Holmes meets Supernatural, or a ghost story, or something like that, and it's pretty neat. I like it.
Yeah, my wife wasn't as into it, but I like it, so I'm gonna watch it without her. Tried to watch I think we've watched 3 episodes, and she falls asleep about 20 minutes in. So, so it's
Yeah,
not
sounds
her
like
show.
it's perfect for her. It's nice sedative before
it's
bed.
pretty good. It's pretty good. It was different than I was expecting. Even reading the synopsis on Netflix, it turned out to be different than I was expecting, and it's pretty good. If you're a fan of Sherlock Holmes or any supernatural type shows, it's a good one. What else? Anything else?
Yeah, I was watching this Spanish show called Who Killed Sarah, and I will say that I'm not enjoying it very much. It's kind of a take on Count of Monte Cristo, but without the charm or the sexiness. And I mean, it's fine. It's passable. If you get through the irregulars and you're looking for something else, Who Killed Sarah is fine, but it's not my favorite. And I happen to have a sister named Sarah, and she's lovely. And I would hope that no one would ever do any harm to my sister Sarah. I'm just going to put that out there.
So this movie shows you that you don't want to have anybody put harm on her, or did you know that before the show?
No, it's a series. First off, it's a TV series. Secondly, I think it's terrible that it would be named Who Killed Sarah, because Sarah shouldn't be killed.
Yeah, it has an emotional response for you, right?
Right.
They should have named it Who Killed Mr. Blumpkins, and then there would have been no emotional response.
Who killed Veruca Salt from Willy Wonka? That would be a great series right there.
Oh man. Tyler, what about you?
So I did start watching I haven't seen the new episode yet, but the show Invincible on Amazon.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
I'm watching that one too. It's fun. The 4th
Yeah,
episode
so
came out today.
Yeah, so I'm excited to watch episode 4. That I didn't have any idea what that show was at all. Just started watching it, and then like the first like major fight scene, the main guy just like squeezes somebody's head and makes it explode. And I was like,
awesome.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. That's the thing though, right? Like, think about, I don't know if it hits you guys at all. It doesn't. It seems kind of comical to me almost. Like is this supposed to be the way it's animated? It's just like it might as well be a pie in the face, right?
It seems very Batman the Animated Series type, like old school 90s animation, doesn't it? Like obviously cleaner because it's high def, but it reminds me of those old 90s shows, and then just throws a little bit more gore and stuff into it.
I know, but the gore isn't like making me feel anything, honestly.
No, I just thought it was cool.
Yeah, I was a little bit
when
shocked.
He squeezes his head and you see his eye like popping, like it's slowly coming out. I'm like, oh, this is badass.
Yeah, it actually gave me like vibes from like One Punch Man. You know, like the first episode when he like takes on that giant crab guy and like rips his eye out.
Yeah, see that like the visual of all that like sushi coming out of that crab guy's eye, like that is more impactful to me than the gore I see in Invincible. Like, it's so gross to see all the slimy.
Are you throwing knives? Like, what are you doing?
What?
Did you just throw a knife?
No, it was my phone. I threw it on my bed.
I thought you were like knife throwing. I was waiting to hear a dunk. I was like, man, Sam's manly man. He's knife throwing during the podcast.
Yeah, and if you're not careful, I'll rip my shirt off too.
Next, he's gonna have that axe behind him.
Oh, he's got me over
Where's
right there.
Stormbreaker? There it is. Oh, I think it's cool, and I think the voice talents in that show are really fun too.
I love that Pimento from Brooklyn Nine-Nine's in it.
Who does? Oh, that's Rex or whatever.
Yeah, the guy who throws the exploding things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I didn't even recognize him from there. I recognized him from crap. Now I can't remember what I recognized him from. He plays a whole bunch of B characters and a bunch of
he's in Parks and Rec. He's in that show, The Good Place.
The Good Place, yeah. That's right.
That's
He's
right.
funny
He
in
plays
that.
Janice's
created
dummy.
boyfriend thing.
Yeah.
It's
hilarious.
And he's pretty much always the same character.
Yeah. That show's fun, man. Anything else?
That's pretty much it that I've been watching that's new.
Max?
Nothing new. I've just been enjoying rewatching things. I just finished my rewatch of Daredevil season 3 like yesterday, day before, and I've just been kind of wanting to go through and rewatch some of the Marvel Netflix stuff. So now I'm on Punisher season 1. I'm like 6 episodes in. That's kind of what I've been up to. I also rewatched The Way Back earlier this week with Ben Affleck. That movie is so good.
Oh, I love that movie.
That movie is so good. That's a 5
Did
out
I
of 5
see
for me.
that one with you or with Jay?
You saw it with Jay. I saw that one with my wife. We did a double feature. We saw that first, got some Five Guys, and then we went and saw Onward. That's the last time my wife has been to the theater.
Onward?
Yeah. With the COVID closing down, there hasn't really been anything new that she's interested in, so she hasn't gone to the theater since.
Yeah, my wife, I saw The Way Back with her. But I think that was the last thing she saw was The Way Back, because that was like February, right?
It was March. It was like a week or two before theaters shut down.
Yeah, before it hit. I
only saw one more movie after that before shut down. I think I saw Bloodshot after that, and then that was it.
So a couple of ones I've been watching have been mentioned: Invincible, Irregulars, but I also got all caught up. We watched it in 2 days on Superman and Lois, and I gotta say, I love this show.
Superman and Lois is good, right?
Yeah, it's really good. Like almost like shockingly good. I thought,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I was like, oh, we're just gonna see some recreation of like
Smallville or something,
an edgy Arrow, or like Arrow recreated for Superman. But no, it's like grounded and stuff. Like it's really good. And I gotta say this, for a CW show, the special effects whenever they show Spider-Man like rushing in,
Superman,
like what did I say? Spider-Man? I meant Superman. Whenever they show him like rushing in and punching somebody, like there's a scene where she pushes a button and next thing you know, he breaks in through a wall and punches this guy across the room. The special effects are really good.
Yeah, I really like that show. And when I talked about it a couple weeks ago, I was saying that the teen angst fight happens at the same time signature every episode. But
does it?
Yeah, it does. But last week I appreciated that they switched it up by having the other teenager throw the fit.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a CW show unless there was some predictability, right? Like that's like a staple of CW is nothing is ever going to be like shocking, right? Except for the fact that this is actually a good show.
Well, no, it's not. It's not that it's not shocking. It's that they have, in order to produce these episodes in the way that they do, they have to follow a formula in order to get the script produced and have the show move forward in a certain way. And I think CW has a formula that they've approved, that the studio's approved for all of its shows. But the Superman Lois, they just do it a little bit better, I think.
Yeah, it's good. And, Tyler Hoechlin or whatever his name is. Hecklin, is that how you say it? There's an O in there.
Yeah. Hecklin.
Oh, okay. It looks like Hoechlin.
Yeah.
Hecklin, I'll take your word for it. He doesn't look like Superman to me, but I like him as Superman. Like Henry Cavill to me looks like Superman. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Just everything.
Also, his suit has like 90s padded shoulders.
Are you talking about in Superman and Lois? Tyler
he
Hoechlin's suit
definitely
does have padding. That's for
Oh
sure.
yeah, it looks like Zachary Levi in his Shazam suit, like it's all
Right.
padding under it. But this guy is significantly shorter than most of the people he's fighting, right? Like anytime they put him up against an adversary on screen, he's about 2-3 inches shorter. That's not my vision of Superman. But this show makes me not really care. Like they do, like when you see Tom Welling and he's fighting all these guys, he's always like this looming presence, right? That's always what I feel Superman is. Like I'm rewatching Superman the animated series, right? And he's like got like a mile wide shoulders and like he's just imposing, right? Henry Cavill's imposing, Tom Welling is kind of imposing when he's, bulked up and stuff. And Tyler Hoechlin is not so much, but I like him in this role. And I like Lois Lane. I don't understand why CW can cast a better Lois Lane than the movies, but apparently they can.
And Lana Lang is a babe.
Yeah. Okay, where do I know her from?
Her name is Emmanuelle Shrieky, and she's in like a ton of stuff. She was in.
I've seen her before.
She's one of these girls that looks like there's three girls
like an
that
older
look
version
exactly
of the Vampire Diaries girl.
Yes. So that the Vampire Diaries girl, Victoria Justice, and Emmanuelle Shrieky all have the exact same face. If we could get that up on screen, Max, that would be amazing.
I don't know if I can do that.
How do you even spell that girl's name? I don't even know what you just said.
Emmanuelle is
Emmanuelle.
Emmanuelle, it's like the scriptures, but it's L with an extra LE at the end, and then her last name is CHRIQUI. Victoria Justice, and what's the other girl's name?
Nina Dobrev.
Yeah, Nina Dobrev. Pull them all up.
Oh my gosh.
Identical.
You guys, this is the kind of stuff that makes me think cloning is real.
All right, are you pulling it up? Because I found it.
Yeah.
Oh, you got it? Okay. Yeah, that's the exact same thing I found.
But they're like different stages of age.
It's
the one on
Pokemon evolutions, right?
The one on the right doesn't look that similar to me, but the two on the left look very similar.
But that's the one we're talking about. In the show, like I thought it was Nina Dobrev when I first saw her, and I was like, wait, but she looks older because there's about a decade age difference between the two of them, right, Sam?
I think there's a 7-year age gap between any two. Well, so Victoria Justice is the youngest. I think she's 3 or 4 years younger than Nina Dobrev. And then I think Nina Dobrev is probably 7 years younger than Emmanuelle Shrieky.
Victoria Justice is 28. Let's see what Nina Dobrev is. Nina Dobrev, 32.
You can see it really right here. So
how old's the other one, Max?
Trying to find that out. 45. So there is 10 years of difference between, more than 10 years of difference between Emmanuelle and the others.
Yeah. So it's basically just Pokemon evolutions is all we're looking at.
And then you can throw that Jersey Shore girl in the mix too.
No, don't bring up Snooki. You're not talking about Snooki, are you?
No. JWoww.
JWoww. Okay, yeah, let's throw JWoww in there.
I'm afraid to look up her name because I don't know.
If you've got safe search on,
I don't know how risky it's gonna be. And I don't need my wife asking me questions later.
Yeah. Well, hey, should we get moving on to the next thing?
Yeah, there was one more thing I wanted to say about something I was watching, and now I can't remember. Oh well. Moving on. So Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So we were not able to meet last week, so we played one of our interviews that we've been meaning to play for a while. So we actually have 2 episodes to talk about tonight. We're not going to spend as much time on the second one, even though that episode seemed to have some implications for this one. But let's get into our discussion. So first of all, I know you guys weren't exactly thrilled with the last episode, and for reasons that we're not going to get too deep into.
Well, it's not that we're not too thrilled. Okay, but it's definitely, the series is being informed by a lot of the stuff that we see in our society today. And so your personal politics may affect your enjoyment of those themes as they're brought up. And depending on where you sit on those particular issues, you may or may not enjoy episode 2. Episode 2 seemed to really go for the kind of structural or systemic racism themes that were discussed heavily in 2020, leading up to the last presidential election. So yeah, those are themes that you may or may not agree with, and you may find yourself on different sides of the issue. And I'm sure we all have different feelings about them, but yeah, that may affect your enjoyment of episode 2. Episode 3 did not really go for those themes. Episode 3 was more about the story as it progressed. They also picked up a character from Captain America: Civil War. They kind of retconned him a little bit from the MCU. They gave him more of his comic book background rather than the MCU background, which is great. I mean, it's fine, but the continuity, they did change his continuity. They tried to just kind of play it off as like, oh, it was always this way, but I definitely remember him talking about how he was a soldier in Civil War and not a Baron.
I think you're missing the biggest plus in this movie.
Oh?
The biggest. And by far, probably the highlight of the entire series, I bet you. The return of Emily Van Camp, one of the hottest women in the world.
Yeah, she definitely is my favorite character. My favorite character on the show after her appearance. She was awesome.
I have loved her since Everwood.
I do not blame you. Very attractive.
And then she was the sole purpose that I ever watched one single episode of Revenge. I can't tell you anything that happened to that show, except she's in it a lot.
Did you just watch it on mute and fast forward to the scene she was in?
Yes. I dated a girl in my early 20s on the sole reason, and this shows you how shallow I am, looked identical to her.
That's impressive, though.
Huh. That I
Yeah,
found
her name was Femily Vanderkamp.
Not only that you found a girl that looks like her, but that you landed her.
Oh, dude, I was in a rock band. I could land anything I wanted.
Oh yeah, Lance was quite a stud in his younger days.
Yeah, now I'm fat.
Now he's a dad. He's got that dad vibe going for him.
Yeah. That was the highlight. I don't know what else happened in this episode. You guys fill me in.
Actually, quite a bit happened.
No.
One thing was suspiciously absent, and that was the title of the episode was "The Power Broker," and we never got to see who the Power Broker was.
Yeah. And here's the thing. So I was thinking that too. And then I remembered that they did that quite a few times to us in Wanda Vision with little or no payoff. So I'm choosing to not get all speculative.
No, we know who the Power Broker is. We know who it is.
Who is it?
It's Jeff Goldblum's Grandmaster. Who else could it be? It's got to be one of the big three.
I don't know. Jeff Goldblum is going to show up in a Disney show.
He literally had a Disney show.
Yeah,
he had his own where he looked at sneakers.
Where he got to go around and trying ice cream and seeing how jeans were made and stuff. But
and sneakers. Don't forget the sneakers.
That was a great
that
show.
was a lot of fun. What is it? The World According to Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
I've watched all those episodes.
No, I do not think that the Power Broker is Jeff Goldblum. And I don't think it's a big deal who the Power Broker is. I think it's just a character we haven't met yet.
It's Benicio del Toro.
Yeah, it's the collector.
Yeah, he's trying to collect
Tannelier Tavan or whatever it is. Tannelier Tavan.
No, if we've learned anything, it's to not get too excited, right? They're gonna show it. The
Guys,
power broker is
guys,
gonna be
no, it's
something we've
Mephisto.
never seen before.
It's Mephisto. The power
It's
broker
Benedict
is
Cumberbatch.
Mephisto.
It has to be.
No, it's not Benedict Cumberbatch.
It's Magneto.
It's Daniel Radcliffe as
Wolverine.
as Mephisto.
I think it's Howard the Duck.
Ooh, there you go.
Which, by the way, I want a Howard the Duck series because I think that'd be a lot of fun. Like a real comedy, nothing that has too much to be put on the actual MCU. Just kind of Howard the Duck sitting around drinking with his friends, and Seth Green be the voice of him. I think you could make something really funny. Maybe just little like 15-minute shorts or something. But this episode does have a big, I think something that's going to come up in the future. The location, right? It's in Madripoor. Did I say that right? Madripoor.
Yeah, I think so.
Which is heavily tied to X-Men, right? So, and this was
I thought that was Alkali Lake.
No, that's Wolverine. But Mutants, Madripoor, like it's heavily tied into that world. It was a location that they could not use before the Fox acquisition.
Oh, so this is the Evan Peters appearance of Winter Soldier. Is that what you're saying?
A little bit more subtle because most people aren't going to know that, but we are starting to see, you know, each one of these shows have shown us something that they otherwise couldn't use prior. So we are starting to see. I think it's just too coincidental that Wanda Vision and this show us something that they couldn't use before the acquisition. Like, I think we're going to have the introductions of mutants sooner than later. And I'm also wondering, you know, if Black Widow might retcon some of these. If they keep going on in this trend, Black Widow might, since it's in the past. I don't know.
Yeah. Not holding my breath for any of that.
I think there's going to be mutants in the very near future.
I think we're a few years away still, unfortunately.
Not a mutants movie, but subtle hints and like we may see an end credit scene at some point that directly ties into the mutants, much like we saw Thanos in the first Avengers movie at the very end credits, and we didn't see anything for 6 years after, like the real Thanos impact. But I think we're going to get something soon.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but I think that there's a trend. You guys didn't know Madripoor was heavily tied to mutants?
No,
I didn't. Based on my quick Google search, you're not right, but that's a very quick. That's a very quick Google search, though.
No, it is.
They had an article about it a year ago.
I totally believe you. Actually, you know what? It says right here, the first appearance of Madripoor, New Mutants number 32. So I stand corrected. I just had to give you crap because I skimmed a quick little article on marvelfandom.com and I didn't see anything about mutants in it. But now that I'm scanning again, it literally says Mutant, Wolverine, X-Men, Scorpion, which isn't a mutant thing, but anyway, yeah, you're right. It's very mutant tied.
Yeah. So it was something they couldn't. It was something that
suck it, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Lance, you can tell me to suck it. You're right.
No, I just am going to sit here in silence and let our viewers tell you to suck it.
Okay.
Hold on, I gotta ask because now we're reviewing the second thing. What is your name, Lance, a reference to? One-handed slap fight.
How lame that fight was in Godzilla versus Kong.
Oh, okay, so that was that. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Well, the Madripoor thing, I thought the Madripoor thing was really cool. I thought this episode was a vast improvement on the last two. Like, I can't remember exactly what rating I gave the first one. I think I gave it a 3.5. The second episode, I'd probably give a 2.5. This one is so much better. I know we'll get to our ratings later, so I won't say what I'm going to rate this one. But
well, you didn't rate the second one because we didn't have a show last week.
Well, I just did. Anyway,
kind of premature there, but
oh well. I didn't even know we were going to review the second episode. I was hoping we were going to skip over it.
Can't talk about the third one and not talk about the second one.
Anyways, this latest episode was really great. I don't think Tyler's even had a chance to watch it yet. So sorry, Tyler, you're getting spoilers from us.
No, I have
About
not. But that's okay.
But it was just the action was good. The character building was great.
Oh,
Agent Carter being brought in. She was the best action of all. Like seeing her beat the crap out of so many people. It was awesome.
dude, the fight scene with
Zemo.
Winter Soldier in the middle of the bar was awesome.
Yes.
That was the best one. It was
Yeah.
not long
Oh,
enough.
we're talking about Revenge Girl.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't. I you said Agent Carter, and it made me think
Sharon
Agent
Carter.
Yeah, Sharon
Yeah.
Carter.
Agent
Sorry.
Agent 13.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sharon Carter.
The Winter Soldier scene in the middle of the bar was awesome because it was the first time in a little while that we've seen him like fully get into hand-to-hand combat. Like when we last saw him in Endgame and in Infinity War, it was always from a distance with guns and stuff. And this time we got to see him what made him awesome in the Winter Soldier, right? Hand-to-hand combat.
Can I tell you my probably one of my favorite parts of the entire episode was when Bucky is talking to Sam and he's like, "Let me throw a hypothetical at you." And then he starts throwing the hypothetical, and I was laughing the entire scene as he's doing this. I'm like, this isn't a hypothetical. This is what he did.
This is already
It's showing it to you happen, and as soon as he's done, you see Baron Zemo. We're gonna get into spoilers, Tyler. Are you sure you want to stay around here for this? But as soon as he's done talking, Baron Zemo walks through the door. So it literally happened at the same timing that Bucky was telling his story.
That was hilarious.
I loved it.
It was so freaking
It's like,
funny.
what did you do? I want to see more. You know, this was sold to us as like a buddy cop type movie, right? Like,
Yeah.
This episode did better at, I think.
it did better. I want to see more of that banter. You know, the Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker, the Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. You know, that banter that is, because you get little snippets of it, but not enough. Like, I want to see them full on. Like,
I think they're working up to it though. Like you look at Lethal Weapon or like Tango and Cash is kind of like what I was thinking of with this show. They don't have that banter at first. You know, they kind of hate each other at first. And then they start to they start to slowly get that relationship. So
I thought the biggest time we saw it was when they're both having to talk to the psychiatrist.
That was a funny scene. And
That was a funny scene, and they get right up close to each other with their knees in each other's nuts, practically.
yeah,
And I was like, okay, this is what I want to see. I want to see more of this. You know, I'm too old for this.
The staring contest.
Which Bucky needs to say it once. He is too old for this.
that's true.
Like the conversation in this episode where they were talking about Trouble Man and Marvin Gaye. He's like, I like 1940s music, and Sam's like, what? Everybody likes Marvin Gaye, right? It felt like a conversation I've had with my dad hundreds of times. Whenever I try to show him something I listen to, hoping to get the same excitement that he sees from me when he shows me something that he listened to when I was a kid, right? And I never get it, right? It's never reciprocated.
No, music is so interesting that way. It's very generational. Most people that I've seen have a very difficult time getting into the new age music. Like, you know, if you're in your 40s, you're not typically going to enjoy the brand new genres that are coming out. You're thinking, you know, I liked the grunge from the 90s or the rap from the 90s. You know, you might still like some of the rap that's coming out now if you like rap in the 90s, but like, you know what I mean? Like I'm a pop punk guy. That's what I grew up liking in high school. That's still what I like. I'll like a new band, but it needs to be that genre that I like.
What's funny is what most people don't understand is that music, yes, it's changed, but it's circular, right? You go through, they start pulling elements. It goes in cycles. So like rap was hip hop and rap in the 80s and 90s, actually late 70s really, was the last time that a new, or no, maybe grunge, but grunge is just a mix of older stuff, right? So that was the last time that something really new was put into the mainstream. I listen to everything. There's some new stuff that I like. But I digress. I was just trying to make a point that I really like that scene in the movie.
We are getting on a digression there.
And the fact that Bucky is carrying around Steve's journal to write his reparations list. I guess you could say
I'd say amends.
Amends. Yeah, his making amends list in Steve's journal shows you how connected he feels to Steve. I love that they're still keeping that part of the story, right? Bucky is going along to stop the super serum thing and everything, and he still has this emotional connection to Steve. He's like, I'm just going to take the shield myself, right? He says that in the plane in this episode. Whereas Sam is like, no, Steve belongs to the people, right? And Bucky's like, no, Steve belongs to me, right? There you can see where the two of them differ. They both have love for Steve, but Sam's like, I shouldn't have put it in a museum. Like, he's regretting all these things, and Bucky just wants him to take the mantle, right?
Yeah.
I think deep down, Bucky wanted the mantle. No, probably not.
I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't know if he would have wanted it. He's just
not deep down wanted Bucky to have the mantle. It was like all the way at the top.
Well, if you're looking at like similar powers, yeah, Bucky makes the most sense. He's a super soldier, just like Steve.
Well, and I just like his character more.
Do you think now that they're reintroducing, and I don't know if this happens because I don't have any familiarity with the Falcon or Sam's version of Captain America, but they've reintroduced the super soldier serum. Do you think the last episode is going to end with Anthony Mackie, Sam, getting the serum?
I don't.
Because I just don't see him being able to really, like, Captain America is known for that hand-to-hand fighting. He has a shield that is a staple of hand-to-hand combat, right? I don't think Sam's ever going to be believable, I guess.
I don't know. I don't think he's going to take the super soldier serum, but I think he'll take the mantle of Cap and do it his own way. From what I understand of the comics, he's basically is Cap, but he uses his same style of Falcon. He still has his wings, he still flies around, but he uses the shield. So I think that's what we can expect here. Is he's going to use his skill set that he already has, but he's going to add the shield and be a symbol.
I don't think he really even needs the serum anyway, because like once the main characters get in a fight, everybody has superpowers basically. Like you have those.
That's
it started with Scarlett Johansson being able to do MMA on the aliens that are crushing vehicles and stuff, and then you got in Falcon and Winter Soldier, you have the Captain America, the new Captain America, come out and he just chucks that shield just as hard as freaking Captain America did. And
yeah, we just saw Happy tried to do the same thing and he couldn't get it more than 2 feet.
Yeah, here's another thing. Here's another thing is you got these normal dudes taking punches from super soldiers and it doesn't destroy their face, right? It doesn't explode their head.
But Sam got a dodgeball to the nuts and was laid out for a week.
It takes you out at least a couple rounds.
I'm getting used to it.
Nuts of steel. Our friend Sam here.
It hurts, but I can play on it.
Rub some dirt on it. Walk it off.
I'll have Tyler rub the dirt.
But there's only 3 episodes left of this show, right?
Yeah. We're halfway through.
Left.
Yeah, I logged in this week to watch it, and I was like, if this episode isn't any better than the last 2, I'm going to be really concerned since it's such a short season. But it definitely delivered. This was the best episode of the season by far. Like, not even close. It was the best episode. It already has, and I think it's going to continue to.
Well, I had question marks when they announced this show. I was like, do I really want to see this? And why is Falcon getting top billing?
I didn't. I was super excited.
The actors alternate every episode.
I was really excited about this show when it got announced. I thought it was a great idea because Bucky and Sam had really good rapport in Civil War, which was another callback I liked this episode, where Bucky gets in the front seat, Sam gets in the back seat, and Sam's like, "Are you going to move the seat up?" And Bucky's like, "Nope." When in Civil War is the other way around, with Sam in the front seat and Bucky in the back, and Sam wouldn't move the seat up.
When they're in the Volkswagen.
Yeah. So I like that. Like, there's just funny jokes, these callbacks. They're friends, but like there's like a tumultuous side to their friendship. I think because Steve died, like Steve kind of held them together. It's like, I mean, we can use Ben as an example, Lance. Like at first, I was kind of the Steve in that situation where like I was friends with Ben, I was friends with you, and we all came together to become friends. Now I think like you and Ben are friends now, but like at first, Ben was my friend, you were my friend, we were all kind of hanging out together. Yeah. And it's a similar idea. I don't think that Falcon or Sam and James, as they called him in this episode, had enough time together without Steve to like truly develop a good rapport with each other. And they're starting
to constantly fighting
build
Thanos.
Yeah, for sure. And then they blipped away for 5 years, and Bucky lived in Wakanda for like a year.
That's what they need to do. They just need to go on a vacation to like Hawaii with each other and just like take couples massages.
Didn't the therapist say something about taking a vacation in the episode?
Candlelit dinners, like really get to know each other on an emotional, deep level. Stare into each other's eyes.
Okay.
Tell each other their secrets.
Right. Sanic.
There's actually a dating program that is very similar to that. It's called 36 Questions. You ask each other these 36 questions over the course of an hour, and then at the end you spend 4 minutes staring into each other's eyes. And then after that, you fall in love.
Sounds like a TV show on CW.
There's a YouTube series called 36 Questions where they try to do this. And they try to see if it works. And it works about 36% of the time.
Ironic.
36% of the time, it works 100% of the time.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a better movie than Godzilla versus Kong.
That's for sure.
What do they call that? Panther Mist?
Sex Panther.
Sex Panther. That's what it is. But it smells like panther piss.
It's got bits of real panther in it. So,
Oh, Anchorman is so good.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm excited to see so out of all the shows that were announced, this was the one that I was least hyped about. Hawkeye, I wasn't very hyped about until they announced that Kate Bishop was going to be in it, and it was kind of like a passing of the mantle type thing. But WandaVision and Loki were at the top of my list, so I'm pleasantly surprised that and I actually liked episode 2, and though my opinions don't really merge with that show, I kind of knew that that's what I was getting when the show was announced, and we first saw that trailer of a new Captain America. But so I was expecting it, but it's good. It's not as good as WandaVision though. You have to admit that.
Oh yeah, I can admit that. That's not hard to admit.
WandaVision held my attention every week. Like there was nights that I was staying up to watch the next episode of WandaVision, waiting for that Disney to flip that switch. This show, I was up last night when it came on Disney Plus, and rather than watch it, I went to bed. So it's not the anticipation is not quite there.
Well, I mean, when we're talking about the first 3 episodes, I mean, WandaVision was really hard. I mean, I know you guys, I think you guys said you liked them, but I first 3 episodes of WandaVision were really hard for me to get
third
through.
episode was great.
No, I see what you're saying, Tyler. They were. I remember when we did our reviews, I was like, I just don't know anything that's going on right now. Even after the 3rd episode, I was still scratching my head. I was like, I have no clue what is happening at all.
Yeah, and episode 3 gave us a little bit, but not until the very end of the episode when she, chucks what's her face out of her little world.
Yeah, Monica.
Monica, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's I forgot to put up the label that we're talking about, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Oh well.
Well, we're technically watching it right now.
But Falcon Winter Soldier is it's like direct at your face, and we're just waiting for the characters to hit the cadences that we're waiting for. That we expect a certain kind of rhythm to the dialogue and a certain level of humor, and it's still not quite there, but it's getting very close.
Yeah, it's a good show. I'm really enjoying it, but I'm with you, Lance. I wasn't like staying up for it. Last night around 11, I was feeling a little tired, and I'm like, I could stay up another hour and then watch this show, but I'm going to go to bed. And so I went to bed. Which is probably the better choice because I don't even know if Sam knows this or not, but I don't know if Tyler does either. I've had an infection for the last 4 weeks, so I've been pretty tired because I've been fighting an infection. No, but
oh, I'm sorry.
So going to bed is probably the better option for me anyway because I'm trying to recover. But
hey, would you say you've had a fever?
I have actually.
And would you say that the only cure is more cowbell?
Yes, yes, I would.
The only cure is more cowbell.
We got a lot. We got a lot of Will Ferrell references going on today.
Fever. The only cure is more cowbell.
Such a great.
It's a great.
I'll just watch that clip on YouTube. Just watching Will Ferrell.
I don't with like a belly shirt on and his
his. Well, he puts his arms up and his shirt goes like in that big man beard of his. Oh, I love that. Speaking of, I think I know the reason why I like Kong Skull Island better than the other 3 movies. John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly, you didn't think it was because of the use of the term skull and your lack of hair?
Yeah, there was an emotional response there. Like I felt like I was in that movie. They showed the island. Connection. Yeah, they showed the island from up top. I was like, oh my gosh, it's like they took my Facebook picture.
You know what I found impressive about Kong Skull Island is that Brie Larson was in it, and I didn't absolutely hate her.
Okay, look, here's the deal. Brie Larson is actually a really good actress. She's actually a decent person, as far as I can tell. But when she does press for Captain Marvel, and her character in Captain Marvel is just insufferable.
Well, I've seen her in what, like 3 different roles now. And this is the first one where I've
got one gunfight show.
What's that?
Did you watch Room?
No, I did not see that movie, which I know you've raved about that, but I have not seen that.
Well, so did the rest of the public because
I feel like we bring this movie up like
it's kind of like when you talk about an actor and actress, Tyler's like, I don't like that actress or I don't like that actor, and then I say, well, did you watch the one movie that they are most known for to be spectacular in? No, I didn't see it.
No, I'm just saying
you don't have a full opinion.
I'm just saying we beat this like a dead horse.
Well, I mean,
we bring up Brie Larson like every other episode.
When I've seen 3 movies of her, and then like she's only really good in one movie I haven't seen. That's not really a good sign, you know. Like she was fine in Kong. She wasn't like spectacular or anything. I just didn't hate her guts. You know.
What are the other 2 movies? Captain Marvel,
and then I don't remember the name of the other movie, but it was one where she like sees unicorns and stuff.
It's called Unicorn Girl.
That movie looks so weird.
Yeah. So those are the 3 roles I've seen her in.
Oh, there's a really fun movie called Free Fire that she's in. So I would recommend that one too.
I liked her in Just Mercy as well. Thought that was good.
Oh, that's right. She is in that. That's a great movie.
Yeah, I like that.
Anyways, right, are we gonna wrap this up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. It's the wrap party.
Oh yeah.
Who did I start with last time? Sam. Max, we're gonna start with you. What is your rating? We already know your rating for episode 2. What is your rating for episode 3 of Falcon
Yeah, my rating for episode 3 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to be a 4 out of 5. I thought the action was fantastic. I thought the chemistry between the two main characters was great. I thought the reintroduction of Sharon Carter was fantastic. I loved seeing Baron Zemo. I liked the retconned backstory. I kind of want to rewatch Civil War now because I didn't realize it was a retcon at first. I was just like, oh, they're giving us more details on his character. But I think you're right, Sam. They're kind of changing things. But yeah, I thought it was really good. I have questions, but we can, the show's not done yet. I'll just say it. My question was, I don't understand why he put the mask on for like a 30-second of screen time period and then took it off again. I'm a little confused, but maybe there's going to be there's going to be answers as to why that was, but maybe it was only fan service. Thought he looked really cool in it though. So yeah, I thought it was a great episode.
Because I think it's because he takes on like a different persona when he has the mask. So you notice he put that on and they went on like he turned into a badass all of a sudden. Whereas Civil War, we never saw him as a badass. The other thing is that a lot of people are upset that he was in Civil War and never wears the mask. So
I was disappointed.
They probably had to get that out of the way pretty quick.
Yeah.
So, Tyler, what about you? What'd you think of this episode?
I haven't seen it, but I'm gonna just go along with you, Lance, and give it a 5 out of 5 because Emily Van Camp's in it. So,
I got to give it 2 separate ratings. My rating of Emily Van Camp, which is 10 out of 5, and then that's right. I forgot you didn't see it after we just went through. You might as well have seen it. I mean, we talked about every beat in this.
Yeah, I know
we did. We left some meat on that bone for Tyler.
There are things that I specifically didn't.
We left plenty of meat on that bone for Tyler.
You left stuff out, Max?
Yes, quite a bit.
It's Tyler's fault he came on a show to talk about an episode he didn't watch.
All right, I'll give mine now.
You.
I'm going to give it 3.5 out of 5. I am really enjoying the direction here. I'm kind of concerned that the political stuff was just to score points, but I'm hoping that they do tie it back into the story real soon.
So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 because I liked. It got a little bit more back into the action part of it, and it kind of made the motivations of the flag smashers a little bit have more meat on it. Like it made them more, how can you say, kind of like Killmonger, right? Because you almost you have empathy for Killmonger a little bit because you understand his motivations. Killmonger. Killmonger. What am I saying? It's Killmonger.
Yes.
Did I say Killmonger?
It's like the people that say realtor. No, there's no. It's realtor.
I've never understood that.
Santa Clarita Diet.
My wife does it too.
We're in realty. No, you're not.
Hey guys, I got a book. So
all right, buddy.
Thanks for letting me.
We'll see you later.
See you later.
So what was I saying?
You were giving it 4 out of 5.
It gives you more empathy for the flag smashers because before it was like we want stuff to be the way they were in the blip. Well, in this episode, you learn that they were displaced after everybody came back and like all these bad things happened to them. So now you understand their motivations a little bit better. And I like that it gives us a little bit more meat on that bone, right? It makes us understand them a little bit before.
Yeah, you just took some of the meat that I was leaving for Tyler and threw it out there.
Even though their name is absolutely stupid.
Yeah.
And flag smashers. That doesn't sound imposing at all. Like flags are already flat.
Yeah, I'm like, how are you gonna smash a flag? Like, what's that gonna do?
I think it's more symbolic, but
like, have you ever punched something flat? It stays flat.
Mattress punchers.
Well, that sounds way more imposing. Oh my gosh. But I like the idea of the super soldier serum and all these other things. Like, I think that could have real impact for the future. And then not only that, I think this is going to have major impact for the future with X-Men and mutants, which I've just been dying to see that. I mean, the mutants, X-Men and Spider-Man are my top characters in all the Marvel universe, right? Of Marvel comics or TV shows or anything. And to have the Marvel universe without X-Men in it has always been a sore spot for me, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm really excited and hoping that these little tidbits that we've been getting, Evan Peters, Madripoor, all these other things, could potentially bring them in sooner than we've been expecting.
I've got another one.
Fantastic Four coming. Go ahead.
Water slashers.
That's hilarious. So what did I say? Did I say 4 out of 5?
Yeah, 4 out of 5.
Yeah, and Emily Van Camp gets a 10 out of 5. I'm serious, guys. I've had a crush on her since, when did Everwood come out? Like 2001?
That's like me and Jessica Alba, man.
Oh man, that woman.
That's funny. I didn't
watched
know who she
LA's
was
Fight.
till that Revenge show, which I never watched. I just remember seeing ads for it all the time. The first time I really ever saw her in anything was in Civil War or Winter Soldier.
Everwood's a great show, man. It has her in it. Chris Pratt is in it. For like it was a CW show. It's pretty good. It's on HBO Max. You should watch it.
Wow, she was young. I just looked up a picture from Everwood. She was probably a teenager.
How old is she? I think she's my age.
I don't know. Emily Van Camp age. 34.
Yeah, so she's 2 years younger than me.
Oh my gosh, Chris Pratt. Oh, he looks like a goof.
With the curly hair.
And he's got like super red lips for some reason.
Does he?
Well, if you're looking at the same image I am, yeah, is it the popcorn movie theater one? Because
no, it's like just an image of like the cast and standing in front of a store or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't see this show
on HBO Max. Yeah, 2002 to 06. Yeah, so I was a junior in high school when this came out.
Yeah, it definitely would have been during my era. I just didn't watch it.
It's a really good show. You guys should check it out. But yeah, I don't know. I like what I'm most excited for. Like, I want this one to wrap up so we can get into Loki, because I think Loki is going to be a lot of fun, judging by what they've told us. And he's kind of on the run from this, from this time council or whatever. Like, it sounds like it's going to be so much fun. And Tom Hiddleston is just awesome. So even though my wife watched Kong Skull Island for the first time with me last week and was like, oh wow, he's really hot. Like, I never noticed it before when he was Loki, but in this he's really hot. And I'm like, okay, well now I'm gonna have the image of you and Tom Hiddleston in my brain.
Dude, you cannot say a thing to her. You talk about every hot chick and everything you watch with her. You are thirsty, my friend.
But the difference is she usually agrees with me. I don't have any.
And you're okay with picturing her with these girls that you're talking about.
Emily Van Camp, though, I might have to save that one for me. But no, just kidding. Oh my gosh, this got so fast. Oh man. Well, that brings us to the end of our show. Max, what are we talking about next week? Falcon the Winter Soldier, and anything good coming out?
Just Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 4 next week.
And Max won't be here because he's getting.
Be advised.
Go ahead.
Be advised, listeners, and Tyler, just so you're aware, if there's a Disney Plus show, count on us talking about it.
Oh, that's the other
every
show
episode.
To talk about what I was watching was Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, okay, we're not going to talk about the Mighty Ducks of the world. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but like if there's a Marvel or a Disney property that's coming out with a show, each week we're talking about it. Just
unless
plan
it was
on
last
that,
week where we just released an old interview.
Well, yeah, things came up. It was going to be a Sam and I episode, and then Sam last minute had something come up, couldn't do it, and I didn't feel like solo podcasting, so we had to cancel. But it's true, I won't be on next week.
Yeah, you're getting a Brazilian wax that's supposed to take like 48 hours, right?
Unless we can start late. I just got to get my kid in bed, and then I can join up. But my wife's going out of town, so I'm going to be.
When you're done. No,
I
Max
think I
is
might.
getting a Brazilian wax. They have to fly somebody in from Brazilian because it's a case like they've never seen before. They have to use special wax that's will really get down, below the dermis.
You're talking. That's not even wrong, though. I'm gonna tell you right now. So
you're a wildebeest.
I've got a lump on the back of my neck, and that's what got infected. And I've been putting Band-Aids on it lately, so that things don't get messy. But I have to change the bandage a couple times a day. I've been pulling Band-Aids out of my neck for the last week, 3 or 4 times a day, and I'm still pulling hair out. And it's always in the same spot. So yeah, man, we would need some special material.
You shave it, dude?
I did. I shaved before I ever put the first Band-Aid on. I was like, hey,
Max, you are my hairiest friend.
I know, I'm a very hairy man.
It's like being friends with a cat. Like you're just
I'm just glad that my back isn't hairy because that's nasty.
Like you get up off my couch, it was like my dog just sat. No, I'm just kidding. What I'm trying to say is for your next birthday, I'm buying you Brazilian wax. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I need to get my back lasered.
Well, it's funny. I mean, I grew up with sisters, but I did not realize until I got married that you make the joke about, me shedding. The reality is the person that sheds in this house is my wife. Women shed like crazy.
Dude, it's crazy. I pulled my wallet out today, was trying to get my credit card, and a piece of Anna's hair had wrapped so perfectly that I had to yank this hair out to get my credit card out of my wallet. Like I was like, what the hell? Like it's like a vine, dude, that just wraps around. But that's my kid crying at the door. So we're going to close up the night. Go check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, couchcrunchers.com. We are live every Friday night at 7 p.m. except last week. And we'll be here next week without Maxie because he's getting his Brazilian wax. Yes. Keep on geeking on, everybody. We love you.